You already know when you come in, make sure you double tap the screen, share it. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Drop some popcorn in the chat. We about to get into, if y'all don't know who this is Sloan Bella. Sloan Bella is, I'm going to say, a psychic or a reader who can predict things. She has predicted many things. She predicted the indictment or the whole raid with Diddy. So some of her things are not too far fetched. She did this one. Hold on. Let me know if y'all can hear me because something just happened in my AirPod. So let me know if y'all can hear me when y'all come in. But she has predicted things in the past, and it has been proven facts. Some things are not far fetched. Some things she has hit right on the nose, right on the target. So we about to see what she had to say about Julio Foolio because I just want to know what she predicted and what actually maybe happened that we do not know. So watch this with me and let me know what y'all think in the chat, and we might get into some other things, but for now we're gonna react to this. Shout out to all my Kim Bays and my Kim Boos who I'm trying to give y'all a little bit more time before I press play. But this is my live reaction. I started to watch it, but I was like, hold up, let me go watch this with my Kim Bays and my Kim Boos because we gotta get into it. I want to know what y'all think, and yeah, we gotta talk about it. So I'm about to just go ahead and get into it and hear what Miss Sloan Bella has predicted around Julio Foolio demise. So let's get into it and see what she says.
How I came to do this video, this is a very unusual one because I'm going to illustrate how spirit works to get somebody like me who can pick up on energy to focus on a person's particular energy, especially when they're not to focus on that person. So I was sitting here just minding my own business and I started to think of my son Keith. This is a few weeks back. I've been trying to do this video and this is my 7th attempt at this video. Anyway, I was sitting here, this is my new studio, I was sitting here and I was thinking of Keith. And Keith went to school with some Los Angeles that formed a hip-hop group called Shoreline Mafia. Some of you probably know who this group is. One of the kids went to school with my son, and my son was always talking about, you know, interested, they were friends, and I think one of them was a good basketball player, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong, but I just remember conversations like this. Anyway, Keithy told me before he passed that one of the associates of Shoreline Mafia had been gunned down in Los Angeles. And I was like, he's 23, and I was like, that's disgusting. Now, this popped into my head this year, this month, well, actually in probably around middle of June, end of June, popped into my head as I'm sitting here.
Question: would you build a website for a major brand with more than 200 million users?
Look up that kid that Keith was talking about in the list. So I Google associate shot Shoreline Mafia, and this kid pops up, and his name is Mac P Dog. Interesting, that's his handle. So I'm looking, he was gunned down about 8 p.m. April 6th, and no one, thus far, nothing's happened to him, or, I mean, no one knows what happened. So as I'm thinking about that, I'm beginning to see the feed on the side of my computer, and it's popping up that Julio Foolio's been shot on June 23rd, Tampa, Florida of this year, gunned down at his own birthday party, even though it was 2 days after his birth, because he was born on June 21st of 1998. So I'm like, wait. So you see how I start focusing, it randomly popped into my head, I start focusing that way, and then because I'm doing that, I'm shown this. So I start to focus on Julio Foolio, whose real name is Charles Jones. And as I said, on June 21st of 1998. Now, the interesting thing about him, I immediately look for his chart. That's a given with me. I'm always going to look for your chart. I have no reference. There isn't really a good reference online, not even a close one, not even a consistent one. So I would put Sun on the ascendant for that. So I am chart for anybody who doesn't have a birth time, like an adopted person, a person born like way back in the day in a third world country where they didn't log the date, right? So I would do this. Do a thing called rectification in a chart where you go back to primary event in childhood, like the death of a parent, the death of a relative, a major move, an illness, and you kind of work backwards through the chart to figure out what time they're born. That's a whole lot of work, and I don't have that kind of time. So I just was looking at his face, and I was listening to him speak, and he himself says he's a Gemini.
Hey,
but
Miss
here's the
Me.
interesting thing. He's got one of those precarious birthdays where the sun is moving from Gemini to Cancer on that. So morning birth, last degrees of Gemini. Afternoon birth, first degrees of Cancer. And in his particular instance, the moon on the day he was born was 29-degree Taurus moon, but at 5:50
Make sure y'all
p.m.
double
if
tap
he
the
was born anytime
screen.
after 5, the moon is moving into the sign of Gemini. So I'm like, is he Gemini or is he Cancer? I'm assuming he probably knows what time he was born, but
A lot of people don't believe in zodiac signs, but when you're a reader, zodiac do come into play. Shout out to everybody that's pulling up. We're reacting to Sloan Bella. She did a reading on Julio, Foolio, Demise. So he is seeing what homegirl is talking about, because y'all already know she be hitting some facts and some predictions or some readings. So make sure y'all double tap the screen, share it, so we can get into it and talk about it.
I don't have anyone to confirm it with me. So I said, as I'm looking at his face, I'm seeing very Piscean around the mouth. Like literally, it's reminding me of Pisces. So I'm like, Neptune in the first. Is he a Pisces rising? Is he a Cancer sun in a Pisces degree called a decan? What is he? Okay, what is he? This is driving me really crazy. So I'm looking at him and I'm like, he's got an intensity that is different than full-on Gemini. Like it's very unearthing the undercurrent, and then immediately I'm pushed into when he's out of his body, and I'm seeing him kind of being, the image I'm seeing him going with a bunch of gargoyles around him, literally securing his environment. Now this is energetic environment, not because he's leaving the physical at this time. So they are securing him on an energetic level, and that is the wording I heard, securing him. And I'm like, securing him what? Then they start to show me that he has been using his own skill to self from the energy that was being thrown at him. Now you're like, what energy? He very much came from a family of origin that understood magic.
Now y'all already know Julio said that his grandma and his peoples, they practice voodoo. So I think this is what she's about to talk about.
Ritual, intention, conjuring, and we're going voodoo, hoodoo, magic. Okay, so we're going along those lines of thinking. And he was blocking his energy from people trying to unblock it, and this is really going on around him. So in his physical body is a spiritual side to himself, and that spiritual side to himself does not want to be controlled. So he is taking measure from himself. It's like a turf war going on for his vibrational energy. He is blocking, and he is offensively or defensively, whichever it is, pushing them away, and they are throwing it at him. Now he's telling me, and I want you to hear this, I'm not gone. I'm not gone. So he has not crossed out. He was immediately protected.
So y'all know when they were saying Julio not really dead, you know, this is probably something around that. His spirit or something is still alive.
In order to observe. He was unaware of who and where it was coming from. So he is being shown. Now I don't know what time frame that takes. I have no idea when they do this. I don't know if they pop back in, pop out. I don't know how that really works. There's so much to know, but it's different for every person. But he is looking at the environment he came from, and I say that his mother, this is his mother, acquainted with the person who ordered the hit on him.
What?
He is unaware.
So homegirl is saying Julio Foolio mom is well aware of who did this to him. This is what she is picking up on energy or the reading behind Julio. She's saying his mom know the person. So that's interesting.
of it. This has nothing to do with her. She is familiar with this person and thinks that they are a good person and that they are helpful to the family. But they are really a turncoat and a Benedict Arnold within the family. They are.
Wow.
Hey, if you're in the Hamilton area, you have pain, give us 10 quick seconds because we're doing.
Working from behind the scenes in order to acquire what he was doing. And then I'm given a big stop and I'm shown that they took him out. So this is it. They took him out because they wanted to change the music tempo right now, this year, from the type of music, and he was unwilling to start performing in the way that they wanted him to perform.
What? So y'all, what is she saying? She trying to say the music Julio Foolio, y'all know he was doing drill rap, y'all know he was speaking or rapping on the dead. So she's saying whoever this person is came to them or came to Julio and said they want to change the way the style of his rapping is just not a good look for whatever reason. This and it was around his music. They wanted him to go a different direction because this will lead to more violence, clearly. But let's see what else she's saying.
Was an artist. He wanted to do it the way he wanted to do it. So he was unwilling to change the way that he did things. And they did not want that. So my guess is there is a whole bunch of music, words, rap. It's drill rap, which is another interesting concept. It's a lot different. It's another level of rap. So it's a more violent type of rap where the artists speak their environment in the truest sense. It's not just money and sex and drugs. It's murder and rape and pillaging, but it's what they grow up around. So we appreciate the freedom that they have to speak about what they're doing, but it's also very combative. In other words, this drill rapper will have a beef with that rapper and they will beef it back and forth like a gang war, like a turf war. I keep wanting to use the word turf war, but it's a turf war for vibration and frequency, not possessions on earth. It's very strange. That's why a lot of his rapping was done in the graveyard. Now, this is something they do. I also, when I looked and I'm like, why are you going into the grave? I know it's a thing. I know it's what they do. He didn't really like doing that after maybe the last couple of times because he's showing me that the bones, they're throwing the bones. And when I see throwing the bones, I immediately go to spellcasting, throwing the bones, okay? Like this is something that actually people do.
Wow.
And you guys are more familiar with it. People in that do, they probably understand it. Even Santeria, they probably understand it way more than I do, what I'm being shown. And I'm hearing, I didn't like what they did to the bones. So I'm almost feeling like somebody stole somebody's corpse or bones from a graveyard and put it somewhere else. That's what I'm feeling. I'm thinking now that it is some sort of magic reference. I'm thinking literally they took the bone and he didn't like that.
Now y'all already know that these people, the guys, well, there has been times where people do go to these grave sites of their oppositions and destroy them. They go to the graveyard and just do some crazy things to the graveyard in their where they are. It's just so maybe that's what she's talking about. We gotta read between the lines, y'all. But she's hitting some things.
He was so completely open that he had a lot of attachments to him from the music that he was doing. It is the frequency. It is so open-ended. See, it is so open-ended for them when they get to that level that they have a hard time pushing those entities out and their personality changing. This is why I feel he carried so much depression with him. You can see it.
Yeah.
It kind of melds off him. On the other side, he's very different. He's very funny and he's a lot of fun, okay?
And that's kind of a lot of these guys who do drill rap. We don't know them. We just sit here and we assume that they are these bad people, or we make up our own judgment based off their music. And I really want to say this was a good thing about Julio, because I think that knowing Julio Foolio and the other rappers too, they have a different side of them. We can't always judge them based off of their music because that's not really who they are. So I do feel like Julio probably was a charming person when you got to know him, funny, laid back. I don't know. It's crazy though that she said that, right?
Like there's a lightness to him on the other side and a seriousness. On this side, I didn't necessarily see the lightness. I saw the bravado. What around him is I saw the bravado. I saw the feeling of presenting himself like he was okay, but there was like a complex post-traumatic stress around him. A lot of sadness. There was an abandonment with him, like everybody has abandoned me. I heard him say that. Everybody has abandoned me. He could not believe what was going on around him.
Wow.
Didn't really expect to die that night. Did catch him off guard. And he says, damn, rat it out, rat it out, rat it out. So somebody knew. I mean, I heard that he put publicly where his birthday was going to be, or they went from here to here. And fortunate, okay.
Come on, Sloan, because why is it going?
Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that. We going blurry again.
Wow.
Always going blurry. Can you see that? Okay, let's see if we can get to go up. Drives me crazy.
Didn't want nothing to do with life no more.
Meet Lucero,
Wow.
a person whose vibrant spirit didn't by death.
Okay, we're back. Sometimes it happens. If people say it's the settings on the camera, I'm like, it's not the settings on the camera.
What is it, Sloan?
It just happens. Sometimes it's super annoying.
Oh.
So what I'm seeing with him is ratted out, but it's deeper than that. So let's go back to the beginning. The first thing is his energy was being hijacked by multiple elements to him. Things that he was unaware of. They were constantly talking in his head. He would think probably he was going crazy, but he was hearing a lot of outside noise and influence, and he was trying to kind of shut that down. He was also not wanting to continue with his career. He was actually wanting to take it in a different direction himself, but not the direction that management wanted him to take. There's a vast difference in what he was doing and where he wanted to go between what his either record label management, I don't know what he had, but any and or all of those.
So who was Julio Foolio really signed under? Who was his management? I really don't know that. I would probably have to do some more research. But if y'all know, let me know that.
Wanted him to go. He was going to be the consciousness of how to change the direction of the frequency. What I'm being shown is they bring about these types of music frequency. It's necessarily the style of music. It just happens to come through that style. But they bring it about in order to corral groups of people that agree with that mindset and to keep them thinking over here versus expanding the way they think. It happens in all types of music, maybe not classical, but pretty much every type of music. So certain people are tuned to that frequency. And he was wanting to change what he was doing because he was really tired from the bullshit. And he goes back like 3.5 years. Really.
Yeah, after getting shot at multiple times and having to watch your back wherever you go, camp down. He said he never left the house without a weapon. Like, I'm sure he did want to change it up a little bit. No, that's not the way anybody should want to live, just behind the music you want to create. That's just crazy to me. So she got some points there.
Tired. I'm getting heavy talking about it. I'm getting a headache in the back of my head. So he was very tired, okay? Not wanting to do this bullshit, not wanting to do it, wanting to be.
Y'all, not to keep stopping it, but I don't want to lose my train of thought. Not for nothing, I think that he was just so wide open on his birthday, dropping location, telling everybody to come party with him, this, that, and the third, doing things that he never did before, like drinking. I think that, like, when she said that he was just, I really do think that he was just tired of the bullshit. Like, I'm tired of living my life like this. If y'all want me, come and get me. I'm dropping the low. And if I live past today, he probably was going to do things differently in his music. And move a little bit different. But I think on his birthday, he put it on the floor and just said, if y'all want me, come and get me. Because he was just so wide open. He just wanted to see if that's what it was going to be.
Grown up, really. Wanting to open up his own label is what I'm hearing. I want to open up my own label and I want to have have some artists working for me, and I want them to be able to create like I was given a chance. I want to give them a chance, is what I'm hearing. He was trying to do this, but he's always like on guard with stuff. Now, here's where I go back to LA and that Mac P dog. Okay, so I go all the way back to LA and I go to that kid. And here's what I'm going to say. So just like, don't come for me for this. The hit on Julio Foolio was from Los Angeles. A very high up rapper, male. Everybody's praising him right now. I'm not going to say the name, but you can get it. Very high up male rapper, probably in his 50s.
Who y'all think she talking about? Somebody. Now she is saying this lady read energy. She is the so-called, psychic reader or some shit like that. As per, gave us reading on a lot of people, especially Diddy, and she has been proven to be telling facts. Homegirl is saying the hit behind Julio Foolio is coming from LA. Someone that we are praising is a male and he's in his 50s. Who the hell is she talking about? Let me see if we can put our two and two together. Go ahead.
He's paying attention to him right now this week, okay? And as I said, it is July 30th of 2024. So that team and that higher up rapper, old school rapper.
I grew up always on the bigger side as a kid.
Wow.
I was always slightly thicker.
Is connected to his team, his record company, his handlers, whoever.
Wow.
And the hit is ordered sideways, ordered from Los Angeles, going into Florida, using a bunch of patsies, people who think they're beefing with Julio Foolio because of something else. So it gives them key to do it, but that's not the reason he died. He died for an entirely different reason, and it's coming from higher up because we couldn't control it. The other thing I was showing, as I was seeing that, I was showing, this is crazy. So I'm asking about this drill rap coming out of Chicago, probably 2010 time frame, if not earlier, but really getting popular in 2010. So I'm like, what's with this? Because they really are doing story dancing, but in a very graphic way. Like it's two drill rappers going after each other. It's still doing this. It's still two drill rappers going after each other. This makes me nuts. Okay, there, we're back.
That's Julio saying stop talking.
Going after each other, almost like West Side Story. Just think of it in terms of the dance and the choreographed fighting. Now look at the drill rappers and like, you do this to me, I do this to you. You kill this person, you dance on it, I do this, etc. So
she trying to say something about somebody dance back in the day. Now we all know Blood Walk, Crip Walk, that's in LA back in the day. Let's see if she give us some more clues, because I have no idea.
it's that kind of, again, turf war. Now go back to the early 1900s, and I'm being dead serious when I say this. Back to the early 1900s, okay? Go all the way back. Go to the Teamsters, the Italian mob, the original mafia, the movie The Godfather. Go all the way back and ask yourself, those people all died, and they were in that kind of frequency war to take over things, to control the tempo, pay people off. They had people everywhere, control, and they all died off. And so there's different kinds of mobs now, like cartel, the whatever, the government, all of that. Now, those people, this is what I was shown. Those people that were mobsters over here came back in the segment of people that we know rappers. Some of them reincarnated. That's a crazy thing to say, and I know how crazy that sounds, but that's exactly what that is.
Oh, wow.
That is why the violence is associated with it, and it's a way of trying to control things again. Our youth, our situations, our city. Now, why are they trying so quickly to find Julio Foolio's killer and not Mac P Dog? These are both young men, different levels of success, but why? They're both in the city, so why are we so gung-ho over here, and over here we're doing the typical LA thing and, letting it slide, right? So is it East Coast, West Coast? Here's what it is. If I were a real rapper named Julio Foolio, and I had information about it just went again. It's when they step in front and no, I'm not making it. Now come back. I just wave my hand and I've come back. All right. So Julio Foolio had information about a very famous upscale person in his industry, what they were doing, and it tied in 3 governmental agencies. So he was aware of some bullshit, and there was a shakedown to get him to shut up. But here's what's interesting. The reason we're working so hard to tie this up with a bow, and even though you will get the right people, and it's the girl that ratted them out, even though you will get the right people, you don't have the right people.
Reason.
It's coming from higher up, and it's coming from the West Coast, and it's hitting that coast.
This kind of reminds me of XXX Demise, when they were saying that Drake put the hit out, but apparently the 3 people or 4 people convicted for XXX, you cannot say that they're from the higher ups or it came from the, you know, the industry or anything like that because of how the hit went down. So what she trying to say is how the hit went down is not really went down. This is just what they want us to believe. She's saying the hit came from someone higher up in the industry and ran the play down to these people who crashed out behind it, the 4 or 5 accusers. They had no idea where it was coming from. They thought it was heavy beef because of the back and forth. Whole time, Sloan Bella, is saying that's not what she's getting, that the hit came from higher up and they just played it out this way so it could be presented to the public in a different limelight. So we gotta not think small, we gotta think big, and the ones that get it, the ones that don't, they'll miss it. So let's see what else she's gonna say here.
So if we are investigating something, hypothetical if we are investigating something, sorry you guys, so annoying. Okay.
Together, keep or cube your extras. Cube. Cube. Cube.
If we are investigating something and we are looking into a murder or death, and we are involved in it for different reasons of extortion and, say, trafficking, then we need to tie up loose ties quickly, arrest the people who think they of their own volition, but actually it was set into motion from above them. And one of the people that will be accused of the murder of him or for contributing in the murder of Julio Foolio
will be our
actually
opposition.
be the person that ratted the others out and was playing both sides of the team. And I believe it's a female. And she's playing both sides. So she won't really do the same kind of time. And
so she trying to predict or tell us the girl that got arrested, Big Foolio, is playing both sides. She's going to be the first one to tell it all, and she will not get as much time as the other 4 people. This is what she's doing. So y'all heard it here first. All my Kimbays and my Kimboos, we going to see if this is real. We going to see if it go down like that. So you gotta say it's almost done.
If we tie this up quickly and everybody's satisfied, we wipe our hands, satisfied somebody, then the real person that orchestrated it gets off scot-free because nobody goes back to them. So what happens? We give a whole bunch of money over here to the establishment that's looking into them.
Sorry, y'all. Just like Drake. They said Drake, y'all know it was heavy beef between Drake and XXXTentacion. It was heavy beef. He was calling Drake out. He even said something about mom. Like, it was heavy beef with Drake and XXX. Now, however, I just feel like she's hitting something. She's telling us something without saying it because there's no proof. But y'all, she does something, and that's just my opinion.
The murder, and then we continue on over here and no one is the wiser. But here's the thing, and I guarantee you of this, Julio Foolio's mother is going to come across information in the form of written document that ties his murder. Oh my God, do you see that? That ties, do you see that? That ties his Okay, now it's weird. The camera just cut off. I heard the name Grant. So ties his murder, okay, to somebody higher up in the rap, hip hop, drill rap industry. And the person it ties it to is actually out there very public. So there's a mass takeover in that industry. It involves the government, it involves everything. That's why this person is showcased and representing America. That's why this is happening.
Who?
So the mother of Foolio is going to come across information. It's probably early spring of next year, and it's going to shock the shit out of people.
Wow.
And then there will be a slow reference to what this person has done, but people will sweep it under the rug because that's what they do. They never want to pull it out. This person is too powerful. And it's interesting. It's very interesting, but it's all happening. So there's hits going out, but they're really coming from the top of the rap industry and the people that run the money out of there.
Wow.
And there's a good effort in the next 4 years, hear me with this, to take the rap industry, the music, and the type of rap that people do in an entirely different direction. So pretty much the way we know rap is not going to be hip-hop or drill rap or whichever it is not going to be the frequency they use. So there's a huge pushing. So all of, and this, I'm being serious, all of the opponents of Foolio, the people he beefs with.
Young and Ace. Young and Ace, what you trying to say, girl? Y'all gotta read between the lines. Trying to tell y'all what I know. Oh, wait a minute.
So no longer be participating in this type of music.
Okay.
Some will go along with the change and others will back off and go elsewhere, and some will end up in this is kind of an obvious thing, but it's really about.
So what she said, y'all, in 4 years, rap is not going to be about drill. Rap is going to be about all these different violent things that is causing all these people to be killed. She said either people going to fall in line, people going to, people is going to fall in line, people is either going to be, killed as well, or something's going to have to give in the next 4 years. Hey, Tiny, what you say? I think she's talking about the Prince family to protect Ace. All right, now, that's what she's saying. Somebody in the higher ups, and you already know the Prince family do be calling shots. So you might be right.
Of the energy. So that's what I'm seeing. And Julio is like right there. He's not gone anywhere. He is literally right there. And
hold on, y'all. Do me a favor and double tap the screen, please. Thank you.
his sense of humor is such that he enjoys popping up, popping in on people. Okay? Popping up and popping in. He's a funny kid. Look, this is going crazy. Oh my God, so annoying. Anyway, he is a very funny kid. He is a unique kid, an interesting kid, a funny kid. He's talking about somebody coming into his house or where he lived, drown him.
What?
I just got that as the camera went blurry. That just popped into.
I'm sorry, y'all, because a lot of people in the industry do be going out and they be around some water. You got Houston. You got a couple people who went out drowning. So I don't know, y'all. What you say, Tiny? They in Houston with Ace. Ace have way more ranking physically, but Foolio might both have higher ranking in the spiritual realm. That's facts. That's true. We on to something. We on to something.
In my head, somebody getting into his house, and I think it was in the last. It might have been the last, but trying to drown him. I don't know if they're pushing his head in the bathtub, in the sink, in the toilet. But trying to drown him is what I'm hearing.
Wow.
So they were trying to threaten him with something before this happened, and he wasn't going to fall for it. See? He wasn't going to fall for it. That's what I'm getting. Oh my God. I'm really not. Look at that. Look at that shit. Look, you guys. They play with it. Look. Yes, you're here. I got it. That's cool.
Wow.
I know there's some. He's not stopping. I'm still sitting here.
Oh, shit.
Look at that.
I can't believe what's happening. What do I do?
Hilarious. Look. It is
Wow.
crazy. He's literally right here.
So if y'all believe in spirits, do y'all think that she's trying to say, yo, Foolio, making her, screen go blurry because she's speaking of him. Do y'all think that's true? Yep, Tiny, just like they did Whitney. Yep.
Back and forth in front of the camera. He actually, super funny. He did not, okay, sorry, I have to go back over here. This is the silliest video. I have so tried to make this video and I can't get my face unblocked. So funny. But he was, okay, we're trying one more time. Come on, okay, there. You guys are gonna be, this is the weirdest video. But he's someone trying to drown him. He didn't like it when I said that, but I'm saying it. Somebody was trying to drown him. So he was literally being bullied and he had to put that pretense up. That's part of the type of music he does. It's not shocking, it's what they do. It's shocking to us, but for them, it's how they, and that's what he was a communicator. Super smart and kind of funny behind the scenes. It made me laugh. So Julio Foolio, this, we're not done with this. We're going to find I'm just going to say it, big, tall, skinny rapper in his 50s, could be 60, I don't know.
Big, tall, skinny rapper in his 50s and 60s, y'all. The only person I could think of that's big, tall, skinny in his 50s and 60s in LA. What's she trying to say? Snoop Dogg? Say Snoop Dogg. So she trying to say Snoop Dogg has something to do with Julio Foolio. If y'all know anybody else in their 60s, tall, skinny, big, that got some power, let me know. Because the only thing that's coming to my mind is Snoop Dogg. What you say? Yeah, they can only manipulate things controlled by energy like lights, electronics. Yeah, so that might be Julio fucking with her. Because she telling the truth. Who knows? But let me know who y'all think she talking about. Throw out some rappers.
I don't know how old people. Anyway, way back to when I was a kid, rapper who ordered a hit on this young rapper. And the music, the manager, the music, the songs, the writing, they tried to drown him, they tried to misdirect him, and that was the problem. He wouldn't go along with it. He was very paranoid, and he was being ratted off out, but you have no idea. And he's still, like, around everybody in his day-to-day life, and it's been really shocking for him to hear the conversations. Like, he's like, there's a part that's funny and a part looking in on, and he's like, holy shit, like, what? He's just like, whoa. And these
Shit
are people
hit
that
the
were
fan.
very, very close to him.
Shit
Okay?
hit the
These were his
fan.
right-hand people.
Wow.
And so he can hear you. Don't think he can. And that's
Wow.
why I feel like he's listening to you and you're freaked out and now you're taking more drugs because he knows what you said.
Ooh.
I'm not saying that, he's saying that. Okay, you guys, this is my first video on the rapper Julio Foolio, and I'm putting it.
Shout out to Sloan Bella. She gave us some things to think about. She said what she said, and we will have to see. Come spring of next year, Julio Foolio mom might, get some more information on what actually happened, where it actually maybe came from. Not necessarily these 5 people who has been charged for this. She's saying that they're going to come to the light, and it was a hit from the higher up. We are only believing what they show us because it makes sense. It wouldn't make sense if it was Snoop Dogg or anybody higher up in the industry. It wouldn't make sense to us as to why they would make it on Julio Foolio. What makes sense is these 5 people, because we all know there was heavy beef between Julio Peoples and whoever else, ATK and all of them. We know that. So they arrested these 5 people, put it in our face as if they found the people who did this, knowing that it may have from higher ups who went through a chain of people, and then money out there, these people are going to do anything for money, and hear money, they just did the hit not knowing that it was bigger than just the money involved. They just needed a puppet or puppets to do what needed to be done, because apparently Julio was not entering in following what needed to be happened. what needed to happen. And that means they wanted his music to go into a different direction because they know it will be ongoing. The drill music is just taking too many people live. They need to change the narrative. They need to change, like she said, the frequency. They need to change something. And Julio was just not with it. He had his guard up, and apparently she is reading the energy and she is saying that this can erupts. So we definitely had to talk about it. I definitely wanted to know Kim Bays and my Kim Boo's thought. This was my first time looking at Sloan Bella video today with y'all. I wanted to see what y'all had to say about it. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, share it, and if you have not subscribed, please. But that's all I have on this. I will catch y'all on the next one. Thank y'all for pulling up. All right, y'all. Bye.